You ever have one of those absolutely hilarious movie ideas that just completely fizzles out by page 30? Yeah, we've all been there. It is one of the most common problems for screenwriters. So in this explainer, we are going to build an unbreakable foundation for your comedy script and turn that funny idea into a story that actually genuinely works for a full 90 minutes.
Okay, let's dive right in. Here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why most comedies fail. It's this thing called the comedy contradiction. Then, we're going to build the single most important line in your script. After that, we'll put your idea through the authenticity test, forge it all into a solid conflict engine, and get you ready to finally start writing.
So, first things first. Before we can even think about building something that lasts, we have to understand the fundamental design flaw, the hidden trap that causes so many comedy scripts to just collapse in on themselves.
I mean, this is the classic question, isn't it? You've got this killer concept, you've written a few hilarious scenes, you're flying. And then, nothing. The story just hits a brick wall and dies. Why on earth does this happen over and over and over again?
Well, this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. See, a joke is instant, but a movie has to last. So if you're writing from the gag level, you're just stringing together funny bits. It's kind of like trying to build a house by just collecting a bunch of really cool-looking bricks you found. No blueprint, no mortar. The bricks might be funny, but they will never, ever become a house. To make it last, you have to write from the structure level, building a sustained wave of comedy where every single moment creates the next.
All right, so if writing from the gag level is the big problem, then what's the solution? Well, it is all about starting with a really strong premise. In this next part, we're going to break down the single most powerful tool for crafting a premise that just will not run out of steam. It's called the premise formula.
Okay, this right here is your secret weapon. Seriously, the power of this little formula is that it forces a fundamental misdirection into your story right from the very beginning. The character's attempt to solve their problem, which is Y, accidentally creates a brand new, much bigger, and way funnier problem, Z. That's not just a setup, you see. That is a story engine.
And this just shows you exactly how it works in practice. I mean, look at Tootsie. When an actor can't get work, that's our X. He lands a role dressed as a woman to get a job, that's Y, his goal, only to fall in love with an actress on the show. And there it is, Z. See that? The attempt to solve one problem creates a brand new, way more interesting, way more complicated one. That is the engine of your story all packed into one sentence.
Okay, so having a great formula is one thing. That's a huge step. But if the idea you plug into it isn't really truly yours, it's going to feel generic. It's going to feel flat. So the next step is to make sure your premise comes from an authentic, personal place that only you can explore.
And this is just so crucial. Chasing what you think is a commercial idea is often the fastest way to be unoriginal. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. If your story has no real, genuine connection to you, it's going to lack a unique voice. Your personal, authentic concerns, the things you're actually obsessed with, that's what will make your script stand out from the pile.
So how do you find that authentic core? Here's a super practical drill you can do, like right now. Go grab a notebook. Don't just focus on your one best idea. I want you to write down all of your comedy ideas. Then look for the patterns. What themes, what character types, or what problems keep showing up again and again and again. That is where your real story is hiding. And once you start seeing those patterns, you can start asking the real questions. Why are you so obsessed with this particular problem? What are you trying to figure out about the world or about yourself? And this is a big one. What is the fun element that just keeps drawing you back? Answering these questions connects you to your story on a much, much deeper level, and it helps you uncover your unique point of view. Okay, you've done the deep dive. You've uncovered the authentic themes and the problems that you are truly obsessed with. Now that raw material, that's like gold. But it's not a story yet. The next step is to forge that gold into a sharp, powerful conflict engine that's going to drive your entire script forward. So look back at all the characters that came up during your drill, and forget who you thought was the main character for a second. Who is the most compelling one? Who do you just love the most? You gotta be prepared to switch your hero. You have to follow the energy. And this is it. This is the whole ball game. This is the most fundamental question in all of storytelling. Once you know who your hero is, you have to define the fight. Who are they fighting, and what is it about? Your answer to this single question is your premise.
And here is the key, okay? That fight, it can't be easy. You have to give your hero the greatest possible difficulty. A story is only as compelling as its obstacles are challenging. So don't go for the easy conflict. Don't let them off the hook. Choose the fight that will push your hero to their absolute limit. Because that is where the best comedy and the most compelling drama always comes from. So there we have it. We've gone from this vague, funny idea that was probably going to die on page 30 to a robust, actionable premise that actually promises a full, engaging, and genuinely hilarious story.
Let's just do a quick recap of the 3 core steps. First, you're going to use the XYZ formula to build a real story engine. Second, run the authenticity drill to find the story that only you can tell. And third, define that core fight and maximize the difficulty to forge a really powerful conflict.
And I just want to leave you with this one final thought. Your script, it shouldn't be about something you've already figured out. The best stories, the ones that really connect, they come from a place of genuine discovery. So use your writing to explore a question you haven't solved yet. Because that's not just how you write a great script, it's how the script writes you back.